Hi, this is Donna with Wazell Properties. I'm going to talk about moving from California to Houston, Texas. Now, I'm from Southern California in Orange County. I grew up in Yorba Linda, and it was a beautiful place when I was a kid. There's tons of people now. It costs a fortune to live there, and still does. So throughout California, some of the prices are higher and lower. But compared to Houston, housing is much cheaper. There's a wide variety of places you can live, inner city, suburbs, in the country, at affordable prices. Now the key is to be able to have a job. If you can get a job here or have friends or family, you can relocate and reset up, get a job, and then get your own place. That's a good idea too. The good things about Texas is the taxes are lower. I know in California that taxes are much higher, and in California you pay a disability tax, which is a good thing for a lot of people, especially when they get older or in other situations that can occur. And it is valuable. So that is a compromise when you do not have the disability taxes and that little back for your welfare in the future. But that's a compromise that in Texas and in Houston that you will not be paying a disability tax, nor will you be in a position to receive such benefits. What's the other thing? House is more affordable, lower taxes, food is cheaper. Lots of people growing food here, and we get a lot of stuff straight from Mexico. A lot of growers are now growing in the countryside and producing lots of great produce for all the towns throughout Dallas and Austin and Houston and the other cities, San Antonio. I'm going to tell you the bad about Houston, so you know up front. When I first moved to Houston, it was like cloudy all the time and so humid. I was like, oh my God, this place is awful. And I had lived in Austin area, and it's, you know, it's not the same. You know, my hair is more, you know, tending to have like a fro happening constantly because of the humidity. The weather right now, it's good. It's like November 1st. And it's beautiful. So, you know, you do have those moments of not so much humidity. Do you get used to it? Yeah, you get used to, we're humans, we're adaptable, we get used to everything, every place we go to eventually. It's a survival trait. The other thing that is in Texas in general is fire ants. You just always have to have poison granules to dump on them and then spray water. They just come up. They're just a force of nature. You just have to manage. And if you feel a tickling on your foot when you're in the grass, always look or stomp, because what they do is they like to swarm your foot and then bite all at once. So from years being in Texas now, I've learned to catch it, you know, at the first tinkling or funny feeling in my foot and say, oh, and stomp them off. Otherwise, I had to learn the hard way by having them all swarm my foot and bite all at once. And yeah, that's not nice. But, you know, just precautions. Let's see, we got fire ants, humidity. Houston has possible flooding. So when you go to lease a home or rent a home or even the apartments, you may or may not have concern about whether it is flooded in the past. Some people say, I will not live in a home if it is ever flooded. And that's cool, I get it. Some people are like, I'm okay with it. You will have to have insurance for flooding. If you have a house that has not flooded before, it's strongly suggested to get flood insurance, because your home could flood for many reasons. because of heavy rains. And sometimes streets get clogged up, or drains get clogged up that pull everything out into the pipes and out. So just always good to be prepared. And if you want to be really safe, just don't live in a place that has ever flooded before. And there's lots of places like that. And usually, like the mountains or living in a snowy area, people have safety prep kits. And it's always good to have that. I could have to do a video on that actually, and we can go through that. But you can look it up online for preparing for emergencies. The other thing is mosquitoes. When I first moved to Texas, I was, I used to go to the mountains in the San Bernardino Mountains in California, and that's when you worried about mosquitoes. But I grew up in Orange County in Yorba Linda, and I don't remember mosquitoes. So just be aware of mosquitoes and spray yourself. I don't like to use the sprays. I only like to use the natural stuff. So, use what works for you. What I also do in my yard is I put a 1/2 acre bug zapper light. And you put it in there and just turn it on at night, have it turn off at light, and it reduces the amount of mosquitoes in your yard by a lot. So the bug zappers, huge help. That's natural, non-chemical. Let's see, what else? More cloudy days. A lot of the houses have HOAs in Houston. I was like, oh, I don't want to live in an HOA. But if you want to find a house you like and the location you want, you have to be open to the fact that it may be in an HOA. But the good thing about HOAs, they usually have pools and walking paths that are maintained, and tennis courts and stuff like that. So, it's one of those things, you either find a non-HOA place out heading towards the country, or you just, you go with the flow and find the house that you want, and the HOA that you can afford to pay. There's tons of people here, not unlike many big cities in California. And traffic, yes, just make sure you're aware of where you are having to go to work, as to where you're living and how long it's going to take there during rush hours of you coming and going. So that's not much change there. People drive crazy. Well, in a big city, yes, people drive crazy. Just expect the unexpected here is totally normal. After a while, you're like, oh my God. And then after a while, you're like, oh, I expected that. So it's basic things you'll learn. Feeder roads. In Texas, there's feeder roads. Like, there's these roads on each side of the highway, and they only go one way. Like, the highway's going this way, there's a side road going that way, the same way. Then the highway, people are coming this way, the side road only comes this way. So it took me a while to figure out how to, you have to make a U-turn or come back. You'll see, it's not a bad thing, you just adjust. And what else? Let's see. Got the feeder roads. I'm sure there's lots of other things, but those are like the major things. My reason I'm here in Houston is obviously jobs, and affordability to live. You could live in Austin. It's a nice place to live too. The climate is much more like California to me. It's much more expensive there, and there's not as many jobs available. So it's all about what your economics are, what your connections are, where you can get a job. Dallas is another great city for living and getting work. There's San Antonio, so it's more, But yeah, if you want to be in Houston, there's good and bad about it. The biggest thing is the cost of living. The cost of living is so much lower. My brother-in-law, he is in Santa Cruz, and he's having to get another room to rent in a house, and it's going to cost him $1,200. $1,200 for a one room in a house. And I looked up 1 to 3 bedrooms in apartments there, and they range from $1,400 to $2,700 a month for like 600 to 700 square feet. So I know there's places that are cheaper in California, but it is pricey, and the cost of living is so much better here. So I hope this was informative, and there's other videos you can check out in my YouTube channel, and have a great day. Bye.